मेरे राम, ओ मेरे राम, मेरे राम, ओ मेरे राम, मेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, मेरे रोम रोम ऐसा माया राम है, मेरे सांसों में तेरा ही नाम है, ओ मेरे सांसों ही तेरा ही नाम है, मेरे राम, मेरे
गणपति देवा।
जय 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 गणपति देवा।
जय 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 गणपति देवा।
जय 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 गणपति देवा।
जय जय
गणपति बापा मोरिया, मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया। 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 एक दंत जय मोरिया, गौरी सुत जय 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 मोरिया। जय लंबोदर मोरिया, अग्रदेव जय मोरिया। जय लंबोदर मोरिया, अग्रदेव जय मोरिया। गणपति बापा मोरिया, मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया। गणपति बापा मोरिया, मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया। विघ्न विनाशक मोरिया, जय डूमेश्वर 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 मोरिया। गजानन जय मोरिया, विद्यावरिद्धि मोरिया। गजानन जय मोरिया, विद्यावरिद्धि मोरिया। गणपति बापा मोरिया, मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया। गणपति बापा मोरिया, मंगलमूर्ति मोरिया। शुभ करता जय मोरिया, दुख हरता जय मोरिया। शुभ करता जय मोरिया, दुख हरता जय मोरिया। शुभ करता जय मोरिया, दुख हरता जय मोरिया। माता मोरिया, गणपति बाबा मोरिया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया, गणपति बाबा मोरिया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरिया, भवानी नंदन मोरिया, जय शिवनंदन मोरिया, भवानी नंदन मोरिया, जय शिवनंदन मोरिया, भवानी नंदन मोरिया, जय शिवनंदन मोरिया, भवानंदन मोरिया, जय शिवनंदन मोरिया, जय मोदक मोरिया, अष्टविनायक मोरिया, जय मोदक प्रिय मोरिया, अष्टविनायक मोरिया, गणपति बाबा मोरिया, मंगल मूर्ति 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 मोरिया, मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे, 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 मोरिया रे बाबा मोरिया रे।
ओम धिमी करिनी कदिमे, धिमी करिनी कदिमे, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिक धिमिक धिम, धिमिक धिमिक धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमी करिनी कदिमे, धिमी करिनी कदिमे, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिक धिमिक धिम, धिमिक धिमिक धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमी करिनी कदिमे, धिमी करिनी कदिमे, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिक धिमिक धिम, धिमिक धिमिक धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ।
नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिक धिमिक धिम, धिमिक धिमिक धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमी करिनी कदिमे, धिमी करिनी कदिमे, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिक धिमिक धिम, धिमिक धिमिक धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ।
बोले शिवा शिवा शिवा
बोले शिवा शिवा शिवा
बोले शिवा शिवा शिवा
बोले शिवा शिवा शिवा
डमरू बोले हर हर हर
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम,
डमरू बोले हर हर हर
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम।
नाचे
Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. All will stand as we join together and sing in the arati. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Prabhu Jai Ganapati Deva. Begana Vinashan Swami. Begana Vinashan Swami. Sukha Sampati Deva. Om Parvati Putra Kahavo Shankar Sutta Swami Prabhu Shankar Sutta Swami Gajananda Gananayak Gajananda Gananayak Bhaktandayanugami Om Jai Riddhi Siddhi ke Malik Moshak Yasvari Prabhu Moshak Yasvari Kar Jori Vinati Karai Kar Jori Vinati Karai Anand Yusabari Om Jai प्रथम आपको पूजत शुभ मंगल दाता प्रभु शुभ मंगल दाता सेदि हो ये सब कारज सेदि हो ये सब कारज दरिद्र हत जाता ओम जय सुंदला दुंदा दुंदला मस्तक पर चंदा प्रभु मस्तक पर चंदा कारज सेद करावो कारज सेद करावो कातो सब फंदा ओम जय गणपति जी की यारत जो कोई नर गावे प्रभु जो कोई नर गावे दादु कह भावती दादु कह भावती निष्दिन सुख पावे ओम जय जय गणपति देवा प्रभु जय गणपति देवा विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी सुख संपत्ति देवा ओम जय गणपति देवा ओम जय गणपति देवा ओम जय गणपति देवा ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय सियापति रामचंद्र की जय जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय Devotees, you may kindly take your seats. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Saraswati Namaha Narayanang Namaskrityang Naram Chaiva Narutamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Devotees, once again we all gathered here tonight to worship the Supreme Brahman in the form of Shri Ganesh. Before I commence reciting the Katha, we'd ask each and everyone to try to picture that beautiful form of Lord Ganesh in your mind as we chant these verses which are dedicated to his worship. Om Sumukha Shaikadantashta Kapilo Gajakarnaka Lambodara Shabikato Bigananasho Binayaka Dumraketor Ganajaksho Balachandro Gajanana Dwadashaitani Namani Yapate Tranno Yadapi Vidyarambe Vivahe Cha Praveshe Nirgame Tatha Sangrami Sankate Chaiva Viganata Shanajayate Shuklam Varadaram Devam Shashivaranam Chaturbujam Prasanavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashandaye Abhipsitartha Siddhyartha Pujito Yasura Surai Sarva Viganarastasmai Ganadhipataye Nama Shivatane Varishtama Sarva Kalyana Murati Parashu Kamalahastam Shobitam Modakenaha Arun Kosumamala Vyalaya Gyopavitam Mama Hriday Nivasam Shri Ganesham Namami Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Mama Prabha Aviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Viganeshwarai Varadai Surapriyaya Lambodarai Sakalai Jagadvitai Nagananai Shruti Yagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutai Gananat Namo Namaste Bhaktarti Nashana Parayai Ganeshwaraya Sarveshwarai Shubhadai Sureshwarai Vidyadharai Vikatai Chavamanaya Bhakta Prasanvaradai Namo Namaste Namaste Brahma Rupaya Vishnu Rupaya Te Namah Namaste Rudra Rupaya Kari Rupaya Te Namah Vishwarupa Swarupaya Namaste Brahmacharine Bhakti Priyaya Devaya Namastubhyam Vinayaka Lambodara Namastubhyam Satatam Modaka Priya Niraviganam Kuru Medeva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Avahanam Najanami Tavarchanam Pujamachaiva Najanami Kshamasveti Ganeshwara. Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavan Ki Jai. Those who were present last night would recall we stopped where Lord Ganesh was explaining the significance, the greatness of performing actions, performing work in what is called yajna. And he had given the assurance to Raja Varenya that having performed action in a yajna, the end product of that is that whatever your undertakings are, you are going to be victorious. Before we begin tonight's katha, let us join together in the chanting of the Ganesh Stotram. Yato nanta shaktera nanta shajiva Yato nirgunada prameyat gunasti Yato bhati sarva trida beda vinnam Sadatam ganesham namamo bhajama Yatashvavira se jagat sarva vetus tatatam sano Vishwagopta Katindra Dayo Daitya Sangha Manusya Sadatam Ganesham Namamo Bhajama Yato Vanahibano Bhavurabho Jalancha Yatah Sagarash Chandrama Vyoma Vayu Yatah Stavara Janga Sangha Yabrishta Sada tam Ganesham namamo bhajama yato danava kinnara yaksha sangra yatasya charana varana yashpadashta yata pakshikita yato viragashta sada tam Ganesham namamo bhajama yato buddhira Jnananasho momoksho yato sampado bhakta santoshakasyo yato vignanasho yata karya siddhi sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama yata yatra putra sampadyo vanchitarto yato bhakti vedya tatani karupa yata shoka moho yata kama eva Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama yato nanda shakti sashisho babhova dharadharani nikarupo cha shakta yato nikada swargaloka hinana Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama yato vedacho vikunnata manobi sada nitini tititayam grananti parabrahma rupam chedananda rupam sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama yato nanda shakti rananda shajiva yato nirgunad prameyad gunasti yato bhati sarva krida veda vinnam Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama Sadatam Ganesham namamo bhajama Bolo Shri Ganeshanda Bhagavan ki jai. We begin the fourth session of the Ganesh Gita. If you remember a few days ago, when I spoke about the important devatas that we worship in Kali Yuga, there's only 5 of them. Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, Surya and Ganesh. Everything else you could do without. And each one is represented by a Gita. Lord Vishnu, the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Shiv, the Shiv Gita. Durga, the Devi Gita. Surya, the Surya Gita. And Ganesh, the Ganesh Gita. Although there are over 200 Gitas, these are the 5 that are considered to be very important. So Raja Varenya says to Lord Ganesh, Sanyastishchaiva yogashta karamanam varanaye tvaya abharayo nishtita tvakam shreyo yadavadame prabho. You have explained to me about karma and you have explained to me about sannyas. You have explained to me that I need to keep performing karma. By the performance of karma, my intellect will become purified. Discarding karma, one could become enlightened. And then you have explained to me that the karma makes one very intelligent. This is the doubt that I have in my mind. You are telling me to renounce karma and you are telling me to perform karma. Explain to me which is beneficial to me. Lord Ganesh says, Kriya yogo viyogascha chapyubhau moksha sadhani tayura madhye kriya yogas tyagatasya visheshyate. Lord Ganesh explains that you explain this teaching to people who deserve it. And when you understand the Supreme, you would realize Tayora Madhye Kriyo Yogas, that there is no difference between karma and sannyas. It's a stepping stone from one level to the next level. Both Tyagasya Vishishyate, both lead to salvation. But karma is greater than renunciation. In chapter 5 of the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna had explained the very same thing to Arjuna. Sannyasa karma yogascha nisheyo sakara vubhau tayosto karma sanyasat karma yoga vishishyate. Both lead to the same destination. But it is easier to be a karma yogi than to be a sannyas, to be totally renounced. Dvanda dukkho saho dveshta yo na kankshi na kinchana mochate bandhanat sadyo nityam sannyasavan mukham. Those who have no enemies and those who do not make enemies, I don't fall in that group. Definitely not. Having no desire for anything, such an individual is quickly rewarded from bondage of karma, and they liberate themselves. Vadanti bhinana phallakau karamana tyaga sangrahau modalabhyana yorekam sanyujita vichakshanaha. Ignorant people or foolish people are the ones who try to separate karma and sannyas as two separate things. Intelligent people know different. There is no difference. There's a line in the Jivan Charit of the Ramayana, I think I said it to you one night. Shri Ramayana Swaraganiseni. The Ramayana is a stepping stone to liberation. You start at the bottom of the ladder. And when you start at the bottom of the ladder, you have the ability to climb. But if you start in the middle of the ladder, you don't know where you're going. You're guessing. So this is why he says that ignorant people talk about them as being separate. The truth is, they are not separate. As Lord Krishna had explained, Sankhya yoga pritagabala pravadanti na panditaha ekamapya stita samyog bayoravindate phalam. Fools, O Arjun, see these two pathways as separate. Intelligent people see them as one. Smiley, you ever went to China? You are talking to. You ever went to China? Right. So you don't have a clue what China is like. I could explain to you from now until you get old like me, and you still won't have a clue what China is. For you to know what China is, you have to go. So that is why he says karma. When you perform karma, then you could renounce karma. If you have not performed karma, you cannot renounce what you don't have. Yadeva prapyate tyaga tadeva yogata phalam sangraham karma yogam yo vidandati savandati. The reward that the individual receives for the performance of karma and the rewards that you receive for the renunciation of karma is the same. And for this reason, yo vindati savidyati, wise people know that both are the same. We just call it a different thing. When you're going to primary school, what do they call you? A schoolboy. When you're going to UE, what do they call you? A schoolboy. You're still a schoolboy, but you're at a different level. Both is school, but it's a different level. The same thing with karma and the same thing with renunciation. Kevalam karamanam yaha sanyasam na vidur buddha kuravana nichaya karama yogi brahme vajayate. It is said, Lord Ganesh says, intelligent people do not recognize the renunciation of karma. Smart people wouldn't renounce karma. If you renounce karma, that's laziness. My great-grandmother had a line she used to say, I'm sure you never heard a line in your life. Karo me davai, dunya me naba. You could write it down. God has not made a medicine to cure laziness. They have no medicine for that. Intelligent people do not accept the renunciation of karma. But the yogis who have no desire, yet they perform karma, and for this reason, they are described in our scriptures as Brahmagyani. Niramalo yatachetatma jitago yoga tatpara atmanam sarvabhutastam pashyan kurvanalepyate. The purpose of performing karma is to purify the mind, to purify the intellect. And whilst purifying the mind and the intellect, the senses will become under control. When the senses become under control, then Goswami Tulsidas said, Siya Rama Mai Sabajagajani. Then you see yourself in everything, and then you see everything in you. Perform your duty, perform your karma. Do not get Pashyan Kuravana Lipyate. Do not get entangled in this world. You have any idea how heavy a spider is? Normal spider, little web in your house. You have any idea how heavy a fly is? The fly 4 times heavier than he. The difference with the two is the spider have a brain and the fly doesn't have one. That is the difference. You ever did a poem in school called The Spider and the Fly? Indra, you do that in school? Will you come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly. Prettiest parlor ever did you spy. And the stupidity went and get stick up in the web. Free meal. All he had to do was stay quiet, and because of his body weight, he would free himself from the web. But he fight the web, and he gets stick up in it. You had to know when to withdraw, you had to know when to defend, you had to know when to attack. Simple, simple everything. He says, Lord Krishna says to Arjun, Yoga yukto vishuddhayatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kuravanna pinalepyate. By the performance of karma, Arjun, the heart becomes pure. When the heart becomes pure, you are able to bring the mind under control. When you are able to bring the mind under control, then whatever karma, whatever actions you perform, you are not tainted by that karma. You are not affected by it. Tattva vidya gayoktatma karomi te namanyate ekadashani driyanim kuravanti karama sankyaya. See yoga inside of you. See the discipline inside of you. Perform your duty, perform your actions. But when you perform this karma with your mind, everything must work together. You cannot be interfering with a power saw in a wood workshop and your mind somewhere else. You know what will happen? You just always end up with 2-3 fingers missing. So your mind has to be in it. Fair enough? Your body has to be in it. Your thoughts have to be in it. And your intellect have to be in it. Because I have a chela who could cut wood with a power saw without even doing a drawing. But let him think about something else now. You can't put Chandan with his finger go here and on. You will cut it out. Everything must be coordinated together. The mind, the body, the intellect. When the mind, the body, and the intellect works together, what do you do then? Lord Ganesh says, Tat sarava marapayo brahman yapi karama karoti yaha nalipyate punya pape bhanur jalagato yataha. Perform that karma, surrender into me. Let me guide you through this. Feel like a scale, San Fernando Hill? Come here. Any fool could do that. Because it has steps. Just take your time, hold the railing, and walk all the way up. Try doing the same thing now with the Himalayan. You'll reach a point where you'll just drop down and dead. Because there'll be no oxygen. You just drop down and dead. You understand? What he is trying to explain to him. Surrender it to me. I will tell you at what point. Stop. You can't go beyond that point. Go back to the Ramayana. Go back to what is called the Aranyakan with Matang Rishi. They were looking for God, you know. There is nobody could say otherwise. They were looking for God, you know. But it wasn't stupid. they reach a point in what is called the monsoon. In monsoon, when the cloud get dark, the river is breaking bank. The water is start to fall here. So they had to hide and shelter. And while sheltering, they sing the bhajan and for 2 months. And then they continue on the journey. Right. So, Shibari, who was a tribal woman, the sad thing is, there is nobody in the Ramayana named Shibari. There is no person named Shibari. Shibari is the name of the tribe she come from. And she gets stick with her name. There's no person by that name. It's a tribal name. She says, well, if you are in search of God, let me go with you so I could find God also. And Matang says what Ganesh says, I will tell you when to stop. So Matang says, no, you cannot go with me. You stay right here. And by staying here, Ram will come and meet you. That is exactly what Ganesh says. Surrender to me, and I will know when to put a stop to it, to tell you, hey, you need to take a break. You know, some people say, my mind tell me this. Yeah. Tat Saravan Abha Brahman, Nalipyate Punya Pape, Bhanura Jalamato Yataha. He says, all the wrongs that you have committed, that you have brought with you. You know what different kind of karma might have? You have any idea? There are 4. We only talk about 3. The 3 are so bad. One is called Sanchita Karma. Sanchita Karma made you Anant. Then you have Prarabdha Karma. Like when you run the traffic light. Didn't realize you have a camera. And you see your number plate in your mailbox. When do you pay for that? When you're dead? Pay for it right there. That is called Prarabdha Karma. And there's one they call Agami Karma. Agami Karma, you carry that with you when you die. And there's a 4th one, which is the deadly one. It's called Collective Karma. That is a deadly, deadly karma. When the 5 all sit down together to work out a plan how to bust my throat. Collective karma. That is what hit the Twin Tower. Collective karma. Millions die because of that one. But that is the dangerous one. Because the other 3, you're not in control of it. You have no say in that. You have no say in being who you are. The same way, just when you look at the sun that is reflected in the river, what do you see? The sun? You see a reflection. You see in the sun. You cannot look at the sun. Kayakam vachikam bodha mandire masanam tatha tyaktanasham karma kurvanti yoga jnanishchita shuddhyate. There are certain things in life that you must give up. Power is one. Power is a dangerous, dangerous thing. Give up power. Put your mind, put your thought, put your intellect in whatever karma you perform. Renounce the karma to the Supreme Lord. And that is when you are able to renounce the karma that you perform, that is what is called perfect karma. Perfect karma. As Lord Krishna had said, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalairindireirapi yogina karma kurvanti sangatyaktatma shuddhyate. Perform the karma, perform the action, but free yourself from the attachment. The problem is not the karma, the problem is the attachment that we have to it. Right? When my father had made the decision he's going to build this mandir, he had gotten an offer from the bank. The bank wanted to buy this property to build what is called a trust company. When I hear the figure, I say, what are you waiting on? You could tell him, rub off 2 knots from it. He said, no, I won't sell it. I said, why? He says, all my forefathers come here, they all die and they leave and they go on. None build nothing that they left behind. And he decided he's going to build a mandir. I said, who you plan to run this mandir if something happened to you? See, when that time reach, somebody go decide that. And he sat down downstairs here when it was building. and was putting a committee together to run this mandir. And when he showed me the list, I asked him if he had screw on right, Your head cannot be screw on right. I said, the day you put a committee to run this, they'll put you out of your own place. You don't understand that? He didn't understand that. He was naive in certain things. So we scrapped that idea. And then he called me one day and said, listen, so-and-so date is Hanuman Jayanti. I am opening the mandir on this Hanuman Jayanti day, and I want you to come. And I reached by the gate. I was coming. Me and Arti. Right? Arti was how old? 7 or 8 years. And when I reached by the gate, somebody looked at me like if they could kill me. I said, Shall we go back home? I never set foot in this place, You won't believe that, Never set foot here. And there was a reason for that. And one day I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You have surrounded yourself with a bunch of fools, and you're too smart to allow that to happen. He says, boy, leave them, let them do what they want. I said, those rules are going to change, and they're going to change drastic, He said, change it. You know when the rules change? The day he died, Not the day of the funeral, Not when I take over the mandir, The rules change the day he died. Because that is when I stamp my authority, who is the boss here. If that is the way you want it, then so be it. You understand? That we were prevented from coming here. People don't understand that. Somebody asked my daughter here one day, what's she doing here? And she just walked down the step and went back home, Never said a word, So when I came over, I asked the person, I said, let me ask you a question. What are you doing here? You tell me what you're doing here. And I had my cricket bat in my hand. Serious. I was going to practice. You think I'm joking? I'm not. I had my bat in my hand. I was going to practice the evening. I said, listen, a mandir is not a place should have bloodshed. And talk to my father. My father will tell you, I have no fear in hitting you in your head with it and killing you. None. Absolutely none. So let me get the message clear. You understand? It's a foolish sense of security that people think that they have. And this is what it says. You are involved in the mandir, but your mind is not in it. If your mind is not in the mandir, you are one of the people who will be praying all the days of your life and saying, I'm praying every day and things still going bad. I'm praying every day, but still going bad. It ain't going bad. You're just evil. You're just evil. Right? And God will not waste time with you. I have always said that. Lord Krishna told Arjun, Sanga tyaktva na shuddhyati. Whatever actions you perform, you must become self-purified by it. I have no problem if you come in the mandir with a bad mind. I have no problem with that. But if you come in for 25 years and your mind's still bad, you'll feel something wrong somewhere along the road. So this is what the purpose of karma is. For self-purification. It's not to purify me. You're not going to purify me. I could purify me. Yoga hi no narakarama paleha ya karotyalam bhadyate karama bijaisa tato dokam mashashnute. Those who do not know yoga, those who do not engage in yajna, performing karma for the sake of rewards, that is the root that is going to spring inside of you. That will be an endless road of distress. You're involved in mandir your whole life. Yes, I have no problem with that. You know one of the things I pride myself with? Let me explain something to you. I spent 30 years in Laramine Mandir. Right? I spent 35 years in Lodian Mandir. That's 65 years. I spent 12 years in Current Mandir. That's 77 years. I spent 4 years in Rambat Mandir. That is 81 years. And for 81 years service, never collect as much as a plum. Never. I've always said that. A mandir is a place of service. And if you cannot serve your mandir, you're wasting time. Sorry, my friend from New York not here. Ralph will be here soon. I have done over 35 years here in the United States and never collected a cent US. Not a cent. And people don't believe that. Whether you believe it or not, that changed me. That doesn't change me. Once it is done in a mandir, mandir is the place where you free yourself from the root of distress. Mandir is the place to do it. You know which child was the most destructive child that passed through this mandir? You have any idea who it is? Vijay's son. Who Vijay? How to tell that here? Let me put it nicer to you. Simbu grandson. Prune's grandson. He mashed down every lotus on the altar. He knocked it down whole night he was here. One night he come. Right? And everybody upset with you. I say, if you listening to what he doing there, you really shouldn't be in the mandir. Because he's doing what a child will do. That's what a child's supposed to do. Right? So this is why Ganesh is explaining that if you are not engaged in this, you will see everything else. But if you engage in this, you cannot see what's going on around you. You will not see it. The performance of karma for the sake of rewards, people have placed themselves in difficulties that cannot be overcome in this lifetime that they're living in. In this lifetime, you wouldn't overcome it. As Krishna said to Arjun, Yukta karama palamatyakva shantamapnoti naishakim ayukta kamakarena pale sakto nibadyate. The one who is called the karma yogi, the one who enjoys doing the action for basically no benefit, gets everlasting peace. Selfish karma ties you down to this bondage of this world. You know there's a bhajan they used to sing, Koi na le jaye na na band ki gatariya. You know that? You know that bhajan? Nice. So practice it. We're coming just now. Manasa sakala makarama tyakta yogi sukam basit nakuravan karayan vapi nandascha bred sapatyani. It is the duty of the yogis to teach people how to live happily. It is the duty of the yogi to perform karma for no benefit. There was once a great Pope, Chinmayananda, was doing a lecture series. He was a strange man. He was strange. For a man who come from South India, never spoke the language. All his discourse was in English. And one day while he was doing a discourse, somebody come and whisper in his ears. And tears started to fall from his eyes. So when the discourse finished, somebody asked him, what happened? He said, I just got a message, my guru died. He said, but you're a Swami. He said, so what? I make out of iron? You understand? I make out of the same flesh and bone that you have. People believe that when you're in certain professions, you shouldn't have emotions. Let me tell you something. The most frightening thing you could experience as a pundit is to do a funeral that way you are like doing an Adesh funeral and not being able to cry and break down. I know Adesh running around the place bare Bamsi. The first drum he owned in his life is I who give him it. And when he put the drum to stand up, like how you put your drum to stand up there, Adesh could have hide behind the drum because it's a big drum so. He could have hide behind it. And when I was about to start the funeral service, I said, I only hope I don't break down. I only hope I don't break down. And then I saw two women in the audience who hated my guts for no reason. I said, well, I will just have to concentrate on them. Once I concentrate on them two people who hate my guts, it had no way I could get emotional. So said, so done. Right? It doesn't mean I wasn't emotional. Don't get me wrong. People have said when my father died, I didn't cry. Who tell you that? You didn't see me crying. But that don't mean, you understand? So people think I'm heartless. If that is your thought, fix up. Fix up. I'll tell you one thing about him. One thing he has always said. He says, when I die, you make sure and do my funeral for me as the pundit. I say, why? He say, because I don't trust none of the other fellas. Simple. I don't trust them. I trust you. Right? So I don't have to explain to you what my relationship with he was. That is nothing, that doesn't even concern you. Do not bind yourself to this world. Perform your duty. Perform your karma. Sarvakaramanyi manasa sanyasya sukambashi navadvare pure dehi naiva kuravanna karayan. Now, enjoying your singing, in satsang, in wake, all kind of thing, in funeral, all kind of thing. You ever come across where they put gold in people's eye and nose and all kind of thing?
I always wonder about that.
Eh?
I always wonder about that.
You see it already then?
Yeah.
That is only done for yogis. That is not done for me and you. That is not for we. But it's a style, everybody have it. Check everybody hand, they have some cloth up in their hand. Ask them what it is for now. Once somebody tell me one day that is for protection. I say take it off and jump me, put two in your two hand and jump my wall after 6 in the evening. And see if that could protect you. What foolishness you're telling people. One, they don't know the reason that string is tied in their hand. Two, they do not know the length of the string. And three, if I tell you that, you better believe it. They don't know the mantra to tie that in their hand. If you want the Agni Puran, I could give it to you when you go downstairs. Photocopy the 64 pages. Those are the mantras. 64 pages are mantras. Yeah, nobody in this country know it. Trust me. They don't know it. Because they tied it in my hand once in New York, the Swami. And he said, you do mine last. I said, okay, cool. So I run outside in the back of the mandir, burn some incense, come back. And he started about 9 o'clock in the night, and 1 o'clock in the morning I leave there. I say, hey, never tie that in my hand again, you know. That kind of too long. They chant all the mantras. Here is a show business thing. How much different color you could have. You understand? Don't make a mockery of this religion. I will fight you down to the end. Anybody who know me will tell you that. I will fight you so much that you will never believe I will fight you. That when you perform karma, renouncing the fruit of the karma, navadvare pure dehi, then the 9 gateways of the human body becomes illuminated. That's what I mean. That is the 9 piece of gold that is put when they die. When you're watching them Indian pictures, you see a fellow with 2 cotton in the nose when he dead. You know why they put 2 cotton in the nose when he dead? Oh, they want to stop him from breathing? He already stopped breathing. They put that there to prevent the gold from falling out. I ain't see they start that one here yet. I'm waiting for some idiot to start that and then we go deal with it. You're watching too much movie. Na kriya nakara trityam kasya chetrijyate maya na kriya bija sanparaka shakta takriyo khilam. Knowing this, people who have realized God, they do not perform rituals. Swamis don't do puja for people. No Swami will do a puja for you. He doesn't care how much dachina you're giving me, still ain't doing it. They don't do it. Because there is no duty for them. They have no duty, they have no responsibility. Nakaratritam nakaramani lokasya srijati prabhu nakarama palasana yogam swabhasto ya pravartate. They are the ones who realize that nature performs the action, not them. They are driven by prakriti, nature. You just happen to be the person chosen to do it. If you study an in-depth study of the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse when Lord Krishna told Arjuna, your fear is fighting this war. Chapter 11. Let me give you the good news. This war will take place with you or without you. I don't need you to fight this battle. This war is going to take place. So, you have an opportunity to make fame for yourself. You decide if you want to use it. Kasyachit punya papani nasprisha shati bharanipa jnana modha vimodyante mohana britta buddhaya. Whatever actions are performed in the world, God has nothing to do with it. God don't even know what you do in this world. He has somebody else keeping them records. And you have Netflix home? You have Netflix home? Mm-hmm. Go and watch a movie called Ramkissoon.
Mm-hmm. We watch it.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with God. God has to answer for what he do too. You don't spare he. If he couldn't defend himself, he was going downstairs. God is not concerned about the good or the bad that we do. Our senses have become weak because of that ignorance that exists within us. we become lost souls in this world. As Lord Krishna said in the 15th verse of chapter 5, Nadate kasya chita papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanena britam ajnanam tena mokhyanti jandavaha. God is not concerned about the good or bad that we do. Clouded knowledge leads to delusion. That is your problem. That is your problem. There was a movie, an Indian movie. Sanjeev Kumar was the actor. Trying to remember the name of that movie. Can't remember it, not for Thy Kingdom Come. He was a cook in a restaurant. And every day he used to hear a bell ring. Cling. And when you look up, you see Krishna. Right? And Lord Krishna tell him, where we go? He said, you mad or what? We ain't ready for that yet. And it went on so for years. Yeah. And one day Krishna appeared to him. And he was coughing. He would get old and feeble and shaking. Lord Krishna said, do you want me to bring medicine for you? He said, no. I have the medicine. He said, what medicine you taking? And he started to call all the medicine that he was using, and all end with the word C-I-N. Sin. Guanamycin, tetramycin, this kind of mycin. And Lord Krishna told him, hey, let me stop. Them is your sin. None of that is my sin. That is your sin. Trying to remember the name of the movie. There's a beautiful song in that movie. Krishna, Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Radhe, Radhe, Bole. Trying to remember the name of the movie, and I'm looking for it and I can't remember it. But 100% sure of what I just tell you. Now, true knowledge of the Atma. What is the Atma? They destroy that ignorance which exists within them. None of us have the ability to do that. None of us. So somebody has to take the responsibility to help us to do that. And that is why Tulsidas wrote in the Ramayana, Banadav prathama mahi sura charana moha janita sanasaya sabharana. All the difficulties that you encounter in your lifetime, through the grace and the blessings of the Guru, he will remove all that for you. He will remove that. Jnanatu tadajnanam yeshana shetayatmana teshamaditya vajajnanam prakashyati yatatparam. When ignorance is destroyed, it is only destroyed by true knowledge. When you destroy that ignorance, then wisdom will dawn on you, just like the sun will shine and illuminate the entire universe. One who is blessed with this supreme knowledge, this supreme wisdom, will light up Sanatan Dharma. Mananeshta maddayottyantam macheta mayetatpara apurava bhavamayanti vegyanashite sayaha. He says, when you control the senses and you control the desires, you become absorbed in me. Sing in my praises. All the wrongs that we have done in life, all by singing my glories, all will be destroyed. And in the end, one becomes one with me. You liberate yourself. As Lord Krishna had said, Tada buddhayas tadatmanas tanishtas tatparayana gachantya punabhritim nirdhuta kalamasha. When the mind and the intellect is merged into the Supreme, only then will the evils that we have committed will be destroyed. And then you reach that place which is called Punarabhritim, the place of no return. Once you reach there, you don't come back. Jnana vijnana sanayukta dvijegati gajadishu samekshana mahatmanam pandita swapacheshunai. They look upon true knowledge. Then you look upon everyone, everything, with an equal eye. And this is why Tulsidas had written about Ram, and he says Ram is Samadarshi. Samadarshi means he doesn't discriminate against anybody. Vedya viniya sampanane brahmane gavahastani shunai shvaika shvapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. A wise man would look upon all with an equal eye. Bhaya swarago jagatesham jevana mukta sapekshana yato dosham brahma samam tasmarte vishaye kritam. Your mind becomes stable. When the mind becomes stable, you achieve what is called jivana mukta. That you become liberated from the bondage of birth and death, even whilst you are alive. Priya priya prapya harashe dvaisho ye prapyu vandina brahma shritya asanamora brahmagya samabuddhaya. Whether you like a person or not, you know, some people just likable, and there are some people who just not likable, like me, who just don't handle somebody like me. It is said, never worry in life about joy or sadness, because it's going to come either way. Either way it's going to come. Knowledge is what gives you the stability to understand. In joy, you do not over-celebrate. And in sadness, you do not over-grieve. That is for everybody. That is for everybody. But knowledge will make you understand it. It didn't say don't cry. Don't carry it overboard. That you want to faint away and all kind of thing. I want to come back the next night to read. I see you sitting in one corner of the house and your sister in the other side of the house. And all they were talking. But the two all nearly want to jump in the fire on the creek this morning. What happened tonight? Well, in the morning, that was a show thing. Now it's serious business. A bearer missing. You understand? Bearer is gilping, you know. That have more killing in it. Foolishness. Foolishness. If anybody who knows the truth, there's a lawyer fella by the name of Anand Misr. I could call his name. He was the man chosen by me to do my father's will. I say, let Anand do it. Because I trust him. And only to realize that Anand's grandparents and my father was friends. So them hit it off. And the day that will was being made, I left home to go and do a Bhagavad. So I don't have a clue what was done. When the Bhagavad finished, Anand called me one day and he said, you are the biggest fool I meet. I said, why you say that? He said, your father make a will and he'll leave nothing for you. That was my instruction. I didn't want anything. Contrary to what people have been saying ever since. That is not true. I never robbed nobody. I never thief nobody. Right? One day a guy tell me that, so your father didn't leave a mandir for you. I said, boy, had I only known that my father was with your mother, I would have tell him leave it for you. Yeah. Plain talk, bad manners. If I'm the man's son, who you expect him to leave it to? Who you plan to leave your house for? I can't ask Vasudev that. Who you plan to leave your house for? Let me ask you that. Who you plan to leave your house for? Obviously. Why you want to leave it for me? You ought to be a fool to do that. Right? So, but people have, up to now people still doing it, you know. Up to now people still do that, you know. So I say, you know what? I don't really need to prove this to nobody. Here what? You put me in court. If you feel you deserve a share, and let me settle it there. I'll take what you even work for yet. That's the nature of the beast. That is the nature of the beast. And this is why Ganesh is saying, only when you have a stable mind, you could handle this kind of pressure. Some people born to handle pressure, you know. Ajora not here. When Ajora come tomorrow, you go ask him. When we playing cricket together, he never see an Indian handle pressure the way I used to handle pressure. I said, but don't wait. I said, when the game finish, all the jumping, all the car and drive away real fast. You know. Then I go deal with all here. Not on the cricket field. Because you have to be in control. Because every decision that you make is going to have repercussion. Every decision that you make. The repercussion might not come today, but it's going to come. And if you're not prepared for it, when that repercussion come to you, you'll forget the karma you performed that brought that repercussion. You'll forget it by then. Priya priya prapya harasha dvesha ye prapya vantina. Brahma shritya asana modha brahmagya samabuddhaya. Knowledge is what is going to give you that stability to keep pushing you forward. Because in this age that we live in, there are so much elements right behind you with a hook in your back trying to pull you back. And if your mind is not stable, if you do not seek knowledge, it is easier for you to walk backwards than to walk forward. They'll pull you down. Varenyovach Kim Sukam Trishu Lokeshu Deva Gandharvayonishu Bhagavan Kripaya Tanami Vada Vidya Visharada. He describes Lord Ganesh as being the Lord of mercy. Bhagavan Kripaya. That is how we pray to God, as the compassionate one. What happiness one derives from being a celestial being. O ocean of knowledge, explain this to me. And Lord Ganesh says, Ananda Mashnute Sakta Samatma Rama Jidatmani Avinashe Sukamatadavi Na Sukam Vishayadisho. Enjoying oneself within secures indestructible joy when you are happy with yourself. Now that you retire as a teacher, now you're trying to tell your children, you know, I should have really worked for that 30-something years. So what you do for them 30-something years? You were just employed? You understand? Now you want to teach when you retire? No. He says, enjoy yourself. Whatever you do, be contented with the effort that you have made. For there is no happiness in worldly cravings. You would never be happy with craving for anything in this world. Vishayetani saukyani dukhanam tani hetava utpati nashayoktani tatra sakto na tatvave. Desires is what causes joy and sorrow. Unfulfilled desires is what causes anger. The root cause of distress and difficulty, even though they are created, it is easy to destroy them. Put your mind, put your thoughts upon the Supreme Lord. Joy will not affect you. Sorrow will not affect you. Greed will not affect you. And distress will not affect you. If I preach in every day, Jata sahi dhruva mrityu dhruva janmitasya cha. Once you're born, your heart is dead. Once you're born, your heart is dead. I preaching that over nearly 60 years now. I'm preaching that. And afraid of dead? Shucks. Something had to really be wrong. You preaching that for 60 years. Once you're born, your heart is dead. Once you're born, your heart is dead. Or you want to choose who dead first and who dead second. You have no say in that one. You have no say in that. None of us do. None of us going to ever even get close to making that decision. Karane satikamasya krodasya sahate chaya taujetum varashavihatma sukamachera yamashnute. The greatest gift that we have received is to be born a human being. And the greatest gift the human being could give back is to control anger, control hatred, control desire, and be eternally happy. The gift you get is the human. The gift that the human could give now, control these things and gain perfection. Shakti haiva sodam prakasharira vimokshanat kama krodha bhavam avegam sayukta sa sukhi naraha. Once you could control anger and hatred, you would always be happy. Antanishtanta prakashanti sukanta devale labhe asandekshayam abrahama sarvabhota hitatya kret. A person who seeks knowledge and intelligence I was talking to a group of students once, and they were all scholarship winners. Right? And once they get the scholarship, they give up school for 1 year, They never pursue it for 1 year. Take a break. Because to get that takes a lot out of you. And if you pursue it at the same time, you could trip off. Yesterday, a student in UE got some bad grades. Hung himself. Yesterday. People don't understand. When you become a parent, right? One day my son told me that, you know how hard it is to be a child? I say, yeah. Get a few years again. When you become a father, I'm going to remind you. You know how hard it is to be a parent? It's twice as hard to be a parent. Because you are dealing with things you don't know nothing about. What's your daughter's age now? 10? You could remember when you was 10? What? You and them two bamboo knee you have there, you can't remember nothing. It's a different world. And now, the stress that parents are going through to send children to university now, it ain't no free university again, You have to pay. And the fee not small. Trust me, the fee not small. So the child, knowing what hell the parents going through to put him through the school, and the grades that he get shocked him. And the only solution he could see was tie a rope on the ceiling and jump. How scary that is? I wouldn't do that funeral for $1 million US. I wouldn't do it. No way. That is not something I want to face in my lifetime. It's not a nice feeling. And this is why I keep telling people, if you cannot communicate with your children, and if your children cannot communicate with you, you don't know the monster you're making, and you do not even know the monster you have become. You become a monster. That your child's scared of you, that is a frightening thing, my friend. I could turn your daughter into a drug mule in less than a minute from now. You want to test it and see? We're just testing it for the fun of it. Smiley, come. How easy it is. You see that? Wait, we're going. See that gray hair man there? Go and give him it for me. The gray hair one, yeah. Yeah, he. So easy. When you do not communicate with your child, somebody else is going to communicate with your child. Somebody going to give your child what you cannot afford to give. And bam. It took less than a minute, eh? You know why? Why it took so little time? Tell me. Because she know me. She trusts me. I betrayed that trust. That is why you need to communicate. That is why you need to communicate with your children, because only through knowledge you could both become free. You striving for perfection, right? But you think you could get perfection alone. And the people who you have behind you, you leave them on their own to fend for themselves. Halfway through you gaining perfection, you're going to lose it when you get to realize what your children are doing. So both become losers. And both all you gotta do it together. Some little scripture have it marked down on me. The family that pray together, stay together. I don't believe in that. Never believe that. The family that communicate together, stay together. Praying together don't mean you're communicating. Eh? Now, I watched a movie recently and the grandfather, grandmother on the table, the parents on the table, and 2 children on the table. 6 people sit down to eat dinner. And 5 of them was on the cell phone during the dinner. Even the granny, handshaking. They can't even communicate, and they're sitting along next to each other. That should never happen. He says, Jetara Shadakshane. Shadakshane means the 6 enemies of humanity. The human being was born with 6 enemies. He didn't pick them up in the world. From the day he born, he had 6. Shamino damiyanas tata tesham samam tato brahma swamatma jnana vibhatayo. And only when the individual is taught who these 6 enemies are. From that moment, you try to control them. You know how frightening it was this evening when I pick up the newspaper and see 4 people get killed, 14, 15, 16, 17. I say, wow. What shocked me most, all 4 had the same last name. They had the same last name. You could imagine whoever responsible for them teenagers, what them going through right now. Look at the house they're living in a shack. We call that a shack. And the reality hit we yet? When it go hit? Lord Krishna said to Arjun, Labante Brahma Nirvana Mrishayakshina Kalamasha Chinana Dvaida Yatatmana Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha. One of the first enemy is you are born in an evil world. You are born in an evil world. I could tell you, every murti you see in this mandir had a gold chain around his neck. Every single one had it. None have it now. None have it. I explain to you where it's gone now? Come on. You really want me to explain that to you? The sad thing, I know 4 people who take them. And I will never tell them to take it. No. Always play stupid unless somebody feels smarter than you. Labante Brahma Nirvana. The first is evil that exists in the world. When you get over the first hurdle, you must learn to appreciate other people. Nobody is bigger than anybody. Nobody is better than anybody. Right? Nobody. When you learn to appreciate people, 3 of the problems leave you immediately. So you don't take care of 4. I won't tell you what the 6 is, you know. Nah. And then, when you seek knowledge, ignorance is the 5th. And when you become a devotee of God, that is number 6. The opposite of being a devotee, an atheist, is number 6. Those are the 6 enemies. You're born with it. Override them and achieve eternal peace. Asaneshu samasinas tyaktave manjashashtiya sanstabhya brakuti maste pranayama parayana. Renouncing all desires. Sit in a clean place. Focus between the eyebrow. Try to meditate. Sparashan kritva vahiravyashcha chakshusha chaivantare bruvo pranapanao samo kretva nasabhyantara charino. Shut out desires. Meditate. Practice. Worship. Pranayam tu sanarodhyam pranapana samudbhavam vadanti manusyacham tridabhutam vipashritaha. Whilst meditating, you will automatically. You saw you lean back there? Anand, you saw you lean back there? Take a deep breath. No. Don't do what you just do. I said, just how you sit down there, take a deep breath. Straighten your back now and take a deep breath. And the different? Nah, it's cool. Figure it out from there now. That is what pranayam does for you. It opens up the airways. Nobody can do that for you. You have to do it yourself. It is pramanam abheda vidati lagu madhyam yamuttamam darshabi dvayane varane pranayam lagu smritaha. One is very simple. You can lie down in your bed and do it. You try the thing I tell you? You forget that by the time you reach home. I asked somebody wanted to meditate on the Guru mantra. And you know the person tell me? Which one? Oops. How much Guru you have? Which one? There's a simple way to do it, there's a middle way, and there's a high. The simple way, without meditation, is a mantra called Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya, the 12-letter mantra. That is it. Chaturabeshat Ksharoyo Madhyamacha Udadritaha Shatashela Lago Varana Sa Utamso Bideyate. Then the middle one is called the 24-letter mantra. What is the 24-letter mantra, Pope? Can't hear you. What mantra it is? The Gayatri mantra. You tell me Om Burba Aswa. The Gayatri mantra is the middle one. And the 36-letter mantra is the highest one you could reach. You have any idea which is the 36-letter mantra? Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam urvadukmeva vandanat mrityora mokshma amritat. That is to liberate you. So, it never tells you do the 36-letter mantra. It never says do the 24-letter mantra. It says start with the simple one first. When you master the simple one, then you go up the order. And by the time you reach up to the top of it, boom, easy. Singamashadu layavapi matate bamridusham yata nayanti pranana tyatva pranapanau sadhayate. Could you imagine that a man could control an elephant in the jungle? He could control the most ferocious lion or tiger, and he can't control his breathing. You know what I mean? You know who this fellow is? Who is he? That's the man called Ramakrishna. Fellow went to him and told him, he said, teach me to control the mind. Ramakrishna told him, come back next week. Do that for a whole year. You feel like I fed up. He said, are you going to teach me to control the mind or not? He said, you can't control your bowel movement. You want to control your mind? Who do you think your mind is? Understand? People like to make up these cock and bull stories. We think it's easy to do them things. It's not easy. That's why it always says in our scriptures, start small. Start small. It's nice to light 200 diya for Diwali, you know. If you think Vikram going to light 200 diya for Diwali, that ain't going to happen in this lifetime. I'm not doing that. A dozen is plenty for me. It's not how much diya you light. Because you have to watch that whole night. And then you have to go and pick it up the next morning. Nah, come on now, man. Come on. Pirayanti mrigastena loka vasham gatan ripa tehatyenastata vayu sanstabdo nachamotamam. A lion that is under control brings no harm or pain to other animals in the forest. When a devotee is able to control his breathing, he brings no harm to himself, to his body, and causes no evil to any other life form. Just by controlling breathing. Yata yata narakashit pana balyama krame tata tata shikayar pranapanau yogavid. You could run up your mother front step. You could run up the inside step. Yeah, right. You ever bonked your shin moon doing that yet? It is so easy to run up the one inside, though. Nah, because that's a circular step. You go bonk your head somewhere. All right. But if you have patience, you could reach the top. The key is patience. In the same way, it is the duty of every individual to try to come out of the cycle of birth and death. Everybody should be able to try and do it. Purakam kumbhaka chaiva rechakam cha tatabhyaset atita nagata jnani tatasya jadgati tale. Breathing in, breathing out, controlling it. Practice it. And when you begin to practice pranayam, visions will appear to you. Visions of the past, visions of the future. Those people, the scriptures describe them as seers. They could just watch you and tell you everything you need to know. Pranayama dvadashi rutame dhiranamata yogastu dharane desyar yogi shaste sadabhyase. Controlling breathing gives us the highest form of memory. The brain becomes real sharp. You don't forget things. Yogis have mastered this. I'll give you a little story that I was told. We had won a cricket competition called the Rahmat League, and we went to collect the trophy. And the man who was presenting the trophy was a fellow named Ashford Sinanan. He was an ambassador to India. And he said something. Somebody told him I was a pundit. So he pulled me one side and trying to figure out. He said when he went to India as an ambassador, he hosted the West Indies cricket team, 1975. And a man, semi-naked, walked into the lobby of the hotel where they had the buffet. And he just picked up what he wanted and eat, put it back in the same plate. And he scorned the man. And the man, through an interpreter, asked him for pen and paper. And the man wrote on a piece of paper something in Hindi. And he said to give it to that man, Ashwat Senanan. So Ashwat took it and put it in his pocket. And 20 years later, he found it. When he was cleaning the wardrobe. You know what the man wrote in the paper? On so-so day, date and time, so-and-so year, your wife will be climbing the step of a plane to go away from medical treatment, and she will die on the step of the plane. So said, so done. How he knew that 18 years before it happened? 18 years before it happened, he wrote it up. That is what you do. When you could control this, which is called pranayam, you have the vision of the three worlds in front of you. It's a frightening thing. When you ask me to check Simbu Patra and you ask me how serious it is, some might don't answer that question. I just said, let's do what you had to do. Because when you answer that question, right, people call it goat mouth. It's not goat mouth. It's sometimes you're just damn good at what you do. Right? And I know something you want to hear at that point in time. So it puts you in a different light. So I always believe, hey, let me do what we had to do and don't worry about the rest. Leave it alone. Brahma rupam jagata saravam pashyati swantaratmani evam yogashta sannyasa samana phalayadayini. When the Atma, within the Atma, you see this entire universe. Look at the form of Krishna as a child and Ram as a child. When they say he was eating dirt, right? And the mother ready to slap him and tell him, open him out. If she had, then good, she dead, you know. She saw the entire universe in the mouth of Lord Krishna. Kaushalya saw the entire universe in the mouth of Ram. In the same way, within the Atma, you see the entire universe in the form of what is called Brahman. For this reason, the renunciation of karma and karma yoga work both hand in hand. You reap the benefit of both. You're not giving up one. You're using one to climb the ladder to the next level. When you reach the next level and the benefit comes, you get the benefit of both coming together. Jantunam hita karataram karamanam paladayinam magyatva muktamapnoti trailokyasyeeshwaram vibhom. And this science is beneficial to all. It gives all the desires that are needed to be fulfilled. The Lord of the three worlds, O Raja Varenya, I am that one. By knowing me, by worshipping me, by bowing to me, by making offerings unto me, such a person becomes liberated from the cycle of birth and death. As Lord Krishna himself had said, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva shanti mrechati. Know me, Arjun, to be the Lord of all yagya. This is one of the most profound verses in the Gita, chapter 5, verse 29. Know me to be the Lord of all yagya. I was watching a yagya on YouTube, a Ganesh yagya, 2-3 years ago. And the Pandit said the most stupid thing he ever see is when people submerge the Ganesh Murti, they just come back in the mandir and do a Gita part. He said that Pandit had to be stupid. There's only do Gita part when people dead. Ouch. I am the Lord of all yagya. Without the name of Krishna, no yag complete. Say what you want. Ganesh or no Ganesh. Without the name of Lord Krishna, no yagya is complete. For I am the Lord of the world. I am the selfless friend of every being in this world, my devotees are going to attain eternal peace. Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. Devotees, we will stop there for tonight, and let us, while the Havan is taking place, let us join together in singing a bhajan. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Do you have a copy with you? Okay. Koye nale jai hai dan band ki gatariya. Koye nale jai hai dan band ki gatariya. Band ki gatariya Rama, band ki gatariya. Band ki gatariya Rama, band ki gatariya. Koye nale jai hai dan band ki gatariya. जब जम्बदूत पलंग चढ़ी बैठे हैया. जब जम्बदूत पलंग चढ़ी बैठे हैया. प्राण लुकाए कुतरिया कुतरिया. प्राण लुटाए कुतरिया कुतरिया. कोई नाले जय गए धन बांध की गतरिया. कोई नाले जय गए धन बांध की गतरिया. कीच मारी पर प्राण निकली गई. कीच मारी पर प्राण निकली गई. पलटी दी है दोनों ने न कुतलिया. पलटी दी है दोनों ने न कुतलिया. कोई नाले जय गए. तुम्हारे राध परोसिन गोतिन. तुम्हारे राध परोसिन गोतिन. ओढ़ा दी है जीनी जीनी चदरिया. ओढ़ा दी है जीनी जीनी चदरिया. कोई नाल जय गई. चार यजन मिली खात उतय गैया. चार यजन मिली खात उतय गैया. ले जय है शमशान दगरिया. ले जय है शमशान दगरिया. कोई नाल जय है. तुम्हारे पुत्र मोह आग लगैया गैया. तुम्हारे पुत्र मोह आग लगैया गैया. जरा दी है जैसे सूकल करिया. जरा दी है जैसे सूकल करिया. कोई नाल जय गई धन बांध की गतरिया. कोई नाल जय गई धन बांध की गतरिया. कहत कबीर सुनो भैये साधो. कहत कबीर सुनो भैये साधो. चुत गए सब महल की अतरिया. चुत गए सब महल की अतरिया. कोई नाले जय गई धन बांध की गतरिया. कोई नाले जय गई धन बांध की गतरिया. ओ कोई नाल जय गई धन बांध की गतरिया. Nobody has ever tie up everything they own in a bundle and carry it when you die. Jabba jamadu tapalanga chadi baite hai. When death come by your bed, prana lukaye kutariya kutariya. The life in the body going to hide, afraid to come out. Ke chamadi para prana nikali hai. The messengers of death will drag that life out. Palati di hai dono nei na kutalia. And then they turn the eye upside down. Tumhare randa parose na gotin. Your neighbors are going to come. Ora di hai jini chadariya. All these silk clothes and things that you have, they take an old sheet and cover you down with it. They don't even put on the nice one for you. They cover you in rags. Chara jana melikata utei hai. I always tell people that. How many friends you have in life, dude? You need to have 4. Find 4. Because when you're dead, 4 had taught you. Your enemy don't taught you when you're dead. Your friend just taught you when you're dead. Chara jana melikata utei hai. 4 of them will take you up. Lay jai hai samsana gariya. And they'll carry you to the cremation site. Tumhare putra moha aga lagai hai. Your son will put fire in your mouth and burn you. How he will burn you? Jaradi hai jaise suka lakariya. Like you're burning rubbish in your backyard. Kahata Kabir suno bai sadhu. Kabir Das says, Chuta gai sab mahal ki atariya. You will leave everything right here. House, palace, wealth, money. None are going with you. I don't tell my family when I die, put all the money in the box with me. My son says, no problem. He's going to write a check and put it in the box. Burn you with all your money. You understand? No matter where you have it, staying right here, it ain't going nowhere. Nobody ain't carrying nothing with them. And yet we still fighting amongst ourselves. Yet we see the murder rate don't excel last year own already. And now it's only children getting killed. We're going to miss a whole generation of people in my lifetime. After me, you have children like she. They got nothing like all you. All look like wipe out. And that's frightening. That really, really frightening. Make your peace. Sit down and pray. The first night I stand up by the Murti and I did puja for people, and then I realized that's not making sense. Because if I stand up there, they'll give me a dachina. I say, no, go and make your own peace. Go and say what you, I don't want to hear what you're saying. You make your own peace. You pray for yourself. Bolo Shri Ganesh and Bhagavan ki jai. All will stand as we join together in singing the arti. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Om Jai Ganapati Deva. Prabhu Jai Ganapati Deva. Vigana Vinashana Swami. Vigana Vinashana Swami. Sukha Sampati Deva. Om Jai Parvati Putra Kahavo Shankar Sutta Swami Prabhu Shankar Sutta Swami Gajananda Gananayak Gajananda Gananayak Bhaktanayanogami Om Jai Redhi Sedhi ke Malik Moshak Yasvari Prabhu Moshak Yasvari Kar Jore Vinati Karai Kar Jore Vinati Karai Ananda Yusavari Om Jai प्रथम आपको पूजन शुभ मंगल दाता प्रभु शुभ मंगल दाता सिद्धि हो ये सब कारज सिद्धि हो ये सब कारज दरिद्र हत जाता ओम जय Sunda Sundala Dunda Dundala Mastaka Parachanda Prabhu Mastaka Parachanda Karaj Siddha Karavo Karaj सेद करावो खातो सब पंदा। ओम जय
गणपति देवा।
गणपति जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे, प्रभु जो कोई नर गावे। दादू कह बावती, दादू कह बावती, देश दिन सुख पावे। ओम जय जय गणपति देवा, प्रभु जय गणपति देवा। विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, विघ्न विनाशन स्वामी, सुख संपत्ति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। ओम जय गणपति देवा। ओम जय
गणपति देवा।
ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। सियापति रामचंद्र की, जगत जननी श्री दुर्गा माता की जय। बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, you may kindly take your seats.